Hey guys, this is Greg Denning, and you are in the School of Awesome Sauce, where I share with you amazing stories and strategies to help you live an extraordinary life. Hey, my friends! Thanks for joining me and making the time to do this. I gotta stop and say that you are awesome. Awesome for making the effort and time to do this. And it says a lot about you and who you are and who you're becoming, that you put in effort to listen to podcasts and watch videos. You're seeking inspiration and motivation and instruction, and you're trying to be your best self. So, man, kudos to you. It's phenomenal. I love people like you who are going after it and want to make the most of themselves and become great people. I love that. Love you. And man, I gotta give you some praise and honor. It's awesome. And isn't life so good? Isn't life so good? You guys, every day now I'm getting messages from people who are doing our monthly coaching program. It's called the School of Awesome Sauce Monthly Coaching. And like it's so fulfilling and so exciting, like the massive transformations people are making in their lives. And that's what coaching does. It literally does that. So if you're feeling stuck, and if you're feeling like you're living in default mode, and you feel like you're kind of trapped, and life has lost some excitement, and it's getting dull or boring, or maybe you're in constant state of frustration or preoccupation, or you just feel bothered all the time, like this isn't what I thought life would be like, then you need some coaching. And literally, coaching is that key. We all need it. And it's the same. We get it in sports and in music. We always hire teachers and tutors and lessons and coaches. Like, we get that. But somehow in life, we've missed that. Like, we've got to have a coach. And so we've made it super affordable and getting tons of resources. And so in our monthly coaching program, School of Awesome Sauce, like, you get so much for so little. We wanted to make this accessible for everybody. And then, of course, there's levels. You can go up to the group coaching, and then you can go up even to one-on-one coaching if you're really ready to take it to the next level. But you gotta act on this stuff and invest in yourself, because anything you're paying out like that is an investment in yourself to seriously level up your life. And with the coaching that I do and that Rachel does, my wife Rachel, like, it is holistic, meaning the whole picture, the whole you. It's every part of your life, just really leveling up so we're balanced whole people. Oh, it's awesome. It's so awesome. But today I want to ask you a big question. Like, what is the purpose of life? Whoa, yeah, that's big, right? What is the purpose of life? And I've been thinking about this question a lot since I was a young teenager, because the question was presented to me, and then my life was pretty challenging and difficult at the time. And so I've been wrestling with that question for a long time. And here's my conclusion after studying many religions and the greatest books and thinkers of all time. Here's my big takeaway, is that the purpose of life is to vigorously pursue our potential. And it's our potential as a human being. I also believe our potential as a child of God. But then even our own unique potential. Like, each of us, I think all humans have this kind of pursuit of becoming their best as a human being. But then I think each of us additionally has this pursuit of becoming our own unique, very best self. Like, what can I do? What heights can I achieve in my own unique way that nobody else can and that only I can? And if I go for it with all my heart and my mind and my strength and my soul, and I just go all after it, what can I achieve? Who can I become? Whoa, right? What heights of possibility are available to me? And I think that is the purpose of life. Now, years ago, a man named Abraham Maslow came up with this diagram called the hierarchy of needs. And basically, he was thinking through, he's watching the human experience, and he's like, look, the humans need to have all these things in place before they can, what he called, self-actualize, meaning they can become, like, they can reach their full potential. They can become their best selves. In order to really attain those heights of greatness, they have to have some needs taken care of. And he started with the very basic needs. So here's what we're going to do. I think we'll do 5 podcast episodes here, and we'll get to this spot where we are covering each of these areas. So the basis is it's drawn out like a triangle now, with, they're almost in steps. And it's 5 steps ascending up the triangle of the most basic needs first and then progressing upward. So the most basic needs are the physiological needs for our body, and then safety is next, and then love and belonging is next, and then esteem, and then self-actualization, like reaching for your potential. And his point was like, look, you got to have all these things in place progressively, and if you get those things in place, then and only then can you ascend up the ladder. And we're gonna give this a different twist today. We're gonna give it a new approach here that, like, I think is gonna blow your mind of why this is true. And I think he was spot on, but I think it was actually a lot deeper than what most people think. And I wholeheartedly believe, and I've seen it again and again in my own life and with thousands of people around the world, that each level of the hierarchy of needs becomes a barrier. There's literally a ceiling there that if these things aren't taken care of well, then there's a ceiling, and it prevents us from progressing and moving up. Whoa, right? And so unless each of those areas is taken care of adequately and really well, then we can't progress. And then we can go back through it. We can go back through it again and again and again through life and be like, okay, how can I even level up now? How can I do this better? And as we are strategically and effectively better at each area, like, it unleashes more power at each level. And when you have more power at the ground level and more power at each level going up, like, it just unlocks your potential, and it just gives you like rocket fuel to grow and progress and become your very best self. Woo! So be excited, friends. We're going to go through this together step by step to unlock this. So the first one is physiological needs. And the physiological needs are like food, water, shelter, air, sleep. Right? And those are the kind of the base levels. And so most of us will look at that and say, okay, cool, yeah, I'm obviously breathing, and most of us have enough food, and we have some kind of shelter, and we sleep, and we have some clothing, right? So we're good. Next level. But that's where we make a gigantic mistake, where we look at that and go, yeah, okay, I'm good. Let's go next level. And here is why that's a huge mistake. Because the vast majority of people, and I know this is a bold statement, but I believe the vast majority of people are stuck at level 1. Whoa, yes, I just said that. The vast majority of people are stuck at level 1. And so literally there's a ceiling above them that is preventing their upward momentum and progress, or at least limiting their power and potential. So on the upper levels, they might sneak up to some of the upper levels and be doing okay, but like they haven't unleashed and unlocked their power and potential at level 1. And here's why. So we might say, oh yeah, I have food. But what's our food quality like? Like, I guarantee you the quality of your food is affecting every other part of your life. And there's like tons of range of quality here, but like when I even this is fascinating. When people are feeling depressed or discouraged, and they're dragging through life, and they're feeling bored and unmotivated, and they're having behavioral problems, and one of the very first things, you do this with kids, you do this with people, one of the very first places you look is food quality. And very often you'll find that if there's behavioral issues, if there's motivation issues, struggles and strain and energy levels, it's food. And a lot of people are putting all kinds of junk in their bodies that are not food. And it's actually masquerading as food, something that came from some factory or something, and is so dead and so full with junk and chemicals and garbage like we're literally tanking our own potential. We're putting a cap and a ceiling on what we can do right there with our food. I mean, think about it, you guys. Think about if the fuel you put in your body, the fuel you put in your car. And if you don't have good fuel in your vehicle, like, it's not going to perform. And if you don't have good fuel in your body, it's not going to perform. And so, like, what blows me away is people don't realize it often seems so unrelated. You're like, no, I have this struggle over here, this problem. And you're like, no, it's your food. Just change what you're eating. They're like, what? That has nothing to do with it. And often, very, very often, it totally does. And so if you're putting junk food in there, and microwave food, and processed food, and it's, again, not even food, like, it's just junk. So my encouragement always is go to the most natural thing. Like, does it actually grow? Does it grow? Right? Is it alive? Or at one point it was alive. And get as natural as possible, as healthy as possible, and like, if you can get local, natural stuff doesn't have tons of chemicals and tons of processing, and the majority of your diet should be like locally grown natural stuff, like lots of vegetables, fruits, and I'm even into the healthy fats, meats and healthy butters and creams that come from like grass-fed animals. Like, the healthier you can get, like, do that. Watch what happens when you remove a lot of the chemicals and the all that other stuff. Just go natural as possible, and study it. Spend time studying that. But like, I promise, that one thing, you guys, that one thing right there, and you're like, no, I just want to. It doesn't affect me. Whatever, I'll eat whatever. No, just try it. Just try and experiment. If you don't believe this, just try and experiment. Just eat healthier, natural foods, and watch how it transforms your life. And I love to ask people that. How would your life be better if you had 3 to 5 times more energy than you do now? Whoa, and for most of us, that would be totally transformational. It would alter the course of our life, what we could get done. And it's often because of that. Number 2, then, let's go with sleep. A lot of us aren't getting enough quality sleep. Now, again, if you're a parent or you're a student, I mean, there's going to be times where you're not getting a lot of sleep. And that's okay. Not getting that much sleep isn't that big of a deal. That's just me. Like, it's not that big of a deal because you can do it. I've survived on little sleep. In fact, last night I got very little sleep, and I got enough energy right now to run a small city. Like, I can get stuff done because when I sleep well. Here's the problem. A lot of us aren't going to bed on time. We're staying up, watching silly shows or movies, or wasting our time, or just scrolling on screens or whatever. And we got to turn off the screens at least a couple hours before bedtime. Read a great book or something, not one that's going to keep you up all night though. And just set up patterns. So get your room dark and comfortable. Set up your bedroom so your bedroom is just it's comfortable. It's in there. You remove a lot of the lights. You make sure you have a comfortable bed, comfortable blankets, comfortable pillow. It's got the right temperature where you sleep well. And just get it set up so you can sleep really well. When you go to bed, you just boom, gone, and set up rituals and routines that help you go to sleep. Some of you have these really bad routines and rituals, so you get in there and you can't fall asleep, and your mind's just racing, and you haven't settled it, and you're just worrying about all the things you got to do, and this, that, and the other, and then you're tossing and turning, and you've set yourself up to not sleep well. So it's easy. You've just trained yourself into that. And I promise you, all of you right now, you've trained yourself. Whatever you're doing, you've trained yourself to do that. Or you've been trained to do that. And so you just train yourself out of it. That's the most wonderful thing about being a human being, is you can train yourself into whatever you want to do well. And so train yourself back into good sleep. And work on that. Study it, learn about it, and just train yourself back into excellent sleep. Just with those 2 things, you guys, think about that. If you know you sleep well most nights, and you're eating well most meals, holy guacamole, is that going to change your life? Is that going to give you more power and influence to, succeed and get upward? Yeah. Whoa, I mean, this is transformative, right? And every one of us needs to do this, from little kids to grown adults, our entire lives. We need to make sure we're sleeping well and we're eating well. And that'll, for most of us right there, that would train. If you're overweight and you start eating well and you eat the right amounts, like it's going to change the way you feel, the way you look. Now that you see how that starts adjusting energy levels and confidence levels and clarity in your mind. Sometimes our minds just feel so confused and we're having a hard time making decisions and staying focused and getting clarity about what we want to do. And like so often, you guys, that confusion, that frustration, and inability to focus is literally tied to quality of sleep and quality of food. There you go. It seems totally unrelated, but you nail those things and now you're like, woo, I got potential. I got power. I'm going after it, right? That's just two things. You see why most people are stuck here at this level and they literally have a ceiling above them and they can't get off level 1. So the next thing is shelter. And we're like, oh yeah, I got shelter. I got a place to stay. But what's the quality of your shelter? Is it a place that's inspiring? Is your bedroom, in your living room and your office and your space, is your space inspiring? Does it inspire you? Is it cluttered and messy and dirty and it's kind of confusing? If you have some, do you have some hoarder habits, my friend, where you're just gathering up all this stuff and junk and things you don't need? But is it organized and neat and clean? And does it have inspiring? Sometimes we put posters on the wall that are not inspiring. Or do you have beautiful paintings and pictures and quotes on your wall? Is your vision board up on your wall? Your list of activities and goals, are your goals up on your wall? Like, you see, you take your environment, your shelter, and a lot of people have this cluttered, messy, uninspiring shelter, and so they get up and they're surrounded by uninspiring stuff and you just feel yucky. And sometimes your life is unorganized because your space is unorganized, and sometimes your life is cluttered because your space is cluttered. And everything we own and have takes up thought, space, energy, time, money, and resources. Like it always does. Like Thoreau said, our possessions possess us. And so we've got to make sure that our shelter is a place of comfort and safety and inspiration. So when we are there, we feel motivated and driven. We want to work. We want to get things done. It feels clean and organized and nice. So all of you need to clean up your space and make sure your space is for the space. So your desk ought to be neat and organized and designed for work. And your bedroom ought to be nice and organized, a place for sleeping and resting and recovery and change, right? And it all ought to be neat and clean. And just get rid of, I love the principles of minimalism and essentialism even more. Like, you only have the things in your life that are essential, that bring you joy and happiness and value. Everything else goes. Pass it along. Pass it along to a thrift store. Give it away to someone else who needs it. Whatever, let other people clutter up their lives. But yours is efficient and effective, and it feels good, it looks good, it's organized, neat. That way your shelter is actually helping you. A lot of us have shelter issues that are stopping us. They're clogging up our lives. And this is tied even emotionally sometimes. A lot of us have these emotional turmoil, emotional clogs from the past and stuff, and it's very often tied up with our shelter. And it causes shelter problems, and then shelter problems cause emotional problems. And so when we can clear out the clutter, clear out the mess, and we're not having to worry about, and you see, we get this blockage. We get a mental and emotional blockage that's often tied up with our stuff and our things. And so now, you guys see this? Isn't this amazing? Oh, I love this so much. Like, our food, our sleep, our shelter is causing these blocks in our minds and our emotions, and it's preventing us from reaching our full potential. So clean up your shelter, get it organized, take a big load to the thrift store, be tenacious about this, be a little bit intense, get rid of anything that's kind of clogging up your life and blocking anything, get rid of that. Now, clothing's the next one. We're like, oh yeah, I have clothes. Well, some of you have way too many clothes, and you need to get it down. If you haven't worn it in months, get rid of it. If you look at it, pull it out, look at it. If it doesn't bring you joy and happiness and a feeling of success and progress, then get rid of it. Just get rid of it, let it go, and get to a spot where you're just like, yeah, what I wear makes me feel successful. If it makes you feel sloppy, look. If sloppy dress leads to sloppy behavior. It really does. And so we need to look neat and clean and confident and like successful. You need to dress for success. I know some of you don't think there's a connection. There absolutely 100% is. The way you dress affects the way you feel. You know this because when you get dressed up, you can put on a beautiful dress or a gown or a nice suit. Like you just feel great, right? You get up, you do your hair nice. That's why people love going to formal dances and dinners, because it makes them feel good. And if you haven't noticed that connection yet, man, notice it now. Like the way you dress and carry yourself and the clothes you have, they affect your feelings and your level of confidence and the way you feel about yourself and the way other people perceive you. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So like make sure you are dressing in a way that makes you feel comfortable and confident and successful and healthy and clean and neat. Again, sloppy dress and sloppy appearance leads to sloppy ways. Sometimes we get caught up in these funny social trends that actually are preventing, there you go, the ceiling again, right? It's putting a ceiling over our heads, and it's actually preventing us from progressing more because we're more worried about what people think and the trends and kind of silly social statements or whatever, and we're so caught up in what other people think and making a statement that we don't realize we're like tanking our own personal progress. Again, what's the purpose of life? Is it to please the neighbors and social competition and social expectations? No, but you'd think that's the purpose of life if you watch human beings and how they behave socially. But you got to remember, like, cut that stuff off. It really doesn't matter. And what happens to be cool or trendy or de moda, like this, I'm translating there. Like, what's the latest trend or new thing? Like, whatever. Like, let that stuff go. We got to start living independent of the opinions of other people. And make sure we get really clear on this. Sorry, guys, I'm going off here, but this stuff is so important. Can you see why I started off with my original bold statement? The vast majority of people are stuck at level 1. And their clothes and their food and their sleep and their shelter are either preventing them from going up or really limiting their power to ascend in their own personal progress and potential. And this is just level 1, my friends. This is just level 1. And make sure we're getting lots of water. Most people are chronically dehydrated. We're not getting enough water, and good water. There's so much junk in the water that's coming out of the tap. So make sure you're getting good water. And then the other one is air. And people are like, oh, I got air. I breathe all the time. Come on, what's the big deal? Actually, we're probably not breathing well enough. And if you've ever studied like the breathing exercises from guys like Wim Hof, and other guys that are into biohacking and just optimizing the body human performance, they're doing breathing exercises. And the top performers, athletes and speakers and presenter businessmen, they actually are doing breathing exercises every day. And some of the top performers, that's the very first thing they do in the morning. They get up and they do the breathing exercises where you're just super oxygenating your blood and your body. And Wim Hof holds all these records for doing these like unbelievable. You'd think they're like inhuman feats, but he's doing it and simply because of his breathing techniques. He's oxygenating his body. And so, and again, the brain is functioning on oxygen. The body is functioning on oxygen. And if we just are just at normal breathing, we're kind of slunched over, we have poor posture, we're not getting enough oxygen in our bodies, no wonder our bodies aren't performing near where they could, or our brains aren't even close to capacity because they're not getting enough food and oxygen. You see what I'm saying? This is amazing! And so do some breathing exercises. Take a couple minutes in the morning. Do it multiple times throughout the day. And do these breathing exercises. And I'll just quickly teach you how to do it. You breathe in through your nose, and the people around you should be able to hear you if you're doing this right. So you breathe in through your nose and out through your and try that for like 30 seconds. And you might feel like you're like hyperventilating, and your lips might get a little tingly, or your fingers or hands might get tingly, and don't fall over. And like learn how to do this. I'm not a doctor here or anything. But learn how to do this stuff. But if you're just and you oxygenate, so just try it. Try it right now for 30 seconds if you can. Just try it. And watch what it does to you. And at first you're like, whoa, it feels weird and like tingly and I'm a little bit dizzy. But like when you do it and you get used to it, then all of a sudden you like you feel alive. Literally, your brain feels alive. Your body feels alive and energized. You're like, this is incredible. And so if we will hyper-oxygenate our minds and our bodies, then all of a sudden we're like, we have clarity and mental energy and physical energy to approach work or studies or conversations or difficult situations. What if you did that every time you needed to, you sit down to study something, you just got the oxygen in? Or before you go to work, or before you engage with your kids, before you tackle a task, you've had good sleep, good food, you're dressed well, right? You've got plenty of good water, and you do some breathing exercises. Whoa, now you're ready to start your day. You know what I'm talking about, my friends? Like, now you're ready. Like, okay, I'm on it now. I'm ready for this. Boom, I'm ready to show up, do extraordinary things in an extraordinary way. I got this. Whoa, you see the difference? I mean, you can literally feel that right now. I can feel it right now. Versus, I got sloppy clothes on. I didn't sleep well because I was staying up too late on social media or binging on Netflix. I didn't eat very well. I had a bunch of junk food. I haven't had water for days. I got drinking soda and junk, and I'm always slunched over. I have poor posture. I'm dressed like a slob, and now, I just got to try to do this. I got to go to this interview, or I got to deal with this problem. And you see the difference? You feel the difference? You can even hear it in my voice as I'm slumping over. Like, it makes a gigantic difference. Just these little things will transform the way you go into the things you need to do, and I would say you need to do well. So you see how level 1 is completely affecting your performance levels and limiting you from maximizing your potential? We haven't even got to the other levels yet. We're level 1. And I promise you, if you'll just do these little things at level 1, it will bring about massive transformations in your life. And then if you can take that fuel and power now and move it up to the upper levels, woohoo! Unstoppable. Okay, so next time we will jump into level 2 of Maslow's hierarchy. Okay? You guys remember, awesome is always an option. Reach upward. Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening to this episode. I hope you got a lot of value out of it and found some things that you can apply to your life right away. Hey, I'm being totally sincere when I say I live to help you live your extraordinary life. So I hope you'll reach out to me if you have any questions, or let me know how I can help you in any important area of your life. And in fact, this podcast is brought to you by the School of Awesome Sauce monthly coaching program. Take advantage of that. Get in there. It's the best way to get a breakthrough to the next level so you can level up your health, your spirituality, your emotions, your mind, your relationships, your finances, business, every part of your life. Just get in there where you have a coach and a mentor. You have a supportive community to make things happen. So jump in there, take advantage of this, try it out, get in there with us, and level up your life. See you on the inside. Reach upward.